Hello, YouTube. It's Lane here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing a little bit of a different type of video. Today we are going to be talking about fountain pens. Why? Well, because fountain pens are one of the things that I most enjoy. They're one of my other hobbies that I really kind of interact with on the daily basis because I have a lot, and my hobby kind of ends up being finding hobbies, but I never actually get that deep into them. And so the ones that I do end up, really enjoying and going into end up being the ones I do every day. Fountain pens, in that sense, are one of the hobbies that I do every day, mostly because I write with fountain pens every day. I take all of my university notes in fountain pens. I write in fountain pens when I do my reviews. Everything that I have to write for, I do in fountain pen. And it's a very great tool. Fountain pens are basically this older type of pen. So they were developed by the French, if I remember correctly, in the 1900s, early 1900s, if I remember correctly. And basically it was to replace quills and older types of pens, like pencils and stuff. And it was supposed to be a product that lasted a lifetime. And it was then taken out of context because it was expensive and replaced with regular ink pens and gel pens and stuff like that. But although I am a big enthusiast of gel pens and stuff like that, really wanted a product that I could enjoy, that could give me an interesting experience, that kind of made writing fun, and that would last a long time. It's kind of economic in a sense, because you can buy one of these pens for 25 bucks and it lasts you, forever, as long as you take care of it and you have enough ink for it. However, it does end up getting expensive because it's a collecting hobby, and collecting hobbies are very difficult on your wallet. Beyond that, there's also the fact that each pen costs quite a lot of money. You can get some cheap pens and you can enjoy fountain pens without buying anything expensive, but at some point you want to get one of those awesome looking pens that are like, $300, $500, $1,000 if you get like those Mont Blanc or what's that other company? I don't know. I'll put up a picture of what I'm talking about if you guys want. And yeah, so I'm going to tell you a brief overview about what fountain pens are, or like about how they work. And then I'm going to run through all the fountain pens that I own. I don't really use most of them. Most of these are things I bought that I want to get rid of, but I haven't gotten rid of yet. There's a very nice community called Pen Swap, I think, that I've bought pens from before, but I've never sold on there. But yeah, so this is the newest pen I bought, and it's a Platinum Preppy, which is a very nice beginner pen, as you guys can see right there. Focus. There we go. And yeah, so a fountain pen is a cap, a feeder unit, and a nib, which is the tool through which you write. Basically, with science, ink flows up and then out, and you write like that, right? Beyond that, there's also a cartridge. Sometimes there's a converter instead, which is a cartridge that has a little knob that you can turn to fill the pen up, and the back of the pen. Mostly, people write with their pens posted, which is when you put the cap on it. I don't usually, because it makes the pen too long, and usually I write with a heavier pen, so it kind of gets annoying. But like this is very nice, and I just hold the cap in my hand while I write. So that's what a fountain pen is. This is a Platinum Preppy. This is black. It has black ink. I got this for $6 at Kinokuniya the other day that I went to buy some manga. Next is the first pen I ever bought, which is a Pilot Metropolitan. This is a very nice classic cigar shape. It's very thin. It's rather short, so when you're writing with it, it barely rests on top of your hand. I do post this one because it is kind of light, and I like a heavier feel on my hand. This is a very fine nib. These are Japanese nibs, which are much thinner and smaller than Western nibs. I'll show you for comparison's sake. This is a fine, which is usually in English supposed to be 0.5 millimeters, but in Japan, in Japanese pens, it actually ends up being around 0.3, 0.4. It's not very exact. But as you guys can see, it's very, very small. Here is another pen so you guys can compare. Well, you can't really compare that much. Well, it doesn't want to focus, but this is definitely thicker than this one, although they're the same size. So this pen is a Lamy Safari. This is a German pen. There we go. And this is the 2018 all black edition. It has a matte black body, matte black nib, which usually they're silver, a black feeder, and everything is black except for the converter. I bought this separately. They don't come with the Lamy Safari. The MSRP for this is around $25. I actually bought this in Mexico City in a little kiosk. Actually, no, I bought this at a Sanborn's in Puebla, which is a city near Mexico City, for around $26, I think. Maybe, I think it was less, actually. Yeah, I bought this converter separately at a kiosk in Mexico City. I usually write with this one without posting it, and this one also has a very specifically shaped handle, I guess, so that you hold it a specific way. And my cousins actually use these at their elementary and middle school to learn how to write. Now, those two are the ones I use the most. I used this a lot when I was first starting out, but it is too thin, and I never bought a medium-sized nib. So I don't use this one as much. I use it for secondary notes when I take notes in class, and this is really the one I write with the most. This is a very nice medium-sized pen. It has a very ergonomic shape, even though it isn't a circle like the other one. And I really like that you can hold it and it doesn't get tiring because it tells you where to hold it and how to hold it. And I like the nib size as well. I have separate nibs for this one. I have a medium one and a bold as well, which is a very thick, like 0.9 millimeter nib. Now, the next pen I got was the Yinghao 3008, which is a copy of the TWSBI Echo, I think. And this has a very large fill capacity because you can fill it all the way here. This is like 2 mils, I think, of ink, where all of the other ones are like 0.5 mils. Hopefully this doesn't squirt out. But yeah, this is a very nice workhorse pen. I use this very, very often. Basically, if I'm not using my Lamy Safari, I'm using this one. This cost me 99 cents on eBay, but it took me like a month to get it because it was imported from China. And it's not very good. As you guys can see, the quality, the plastic on the cap is rubbing off and the black is showing through to white. I had to fix this a little bit, and the mechanism here is very difficult to remove in order to clean it, because I like taking out the whole thing in order to clean my pen instead of like twisting over and over again. But I put some scuba gear grease on here, which is basically silicone grease, and it works just like new. Now, what else do I have? Okay, the other pen that I use quite often is this Yinghao 519. This is a very thick, very large pen. It's a cigar shape, just like the Metropolitan, as you guys can see right there, but it's way thicker. It's also larger. This is a very heavy pen. I don't really use it that much because it is kind of heavy, and there is a problem with the unit, the feeder unit, and the cartridge. I might actually have to switch the cartridge out and buy a different one, because it doesn't like fit properly, and so sometimes ink comes out of it. Not very often, but sometimes, and it is kind of annoying. I don't write with this one capped at all because it's way too heavy. Okay, so those are the pens that I basically use all the time, and the pen I just bought. Now I'm going to show you the pens that I don't use very often, or that I've retired from my collection and I'm just waiting to sell. So the one that I don't use very often that I quite like is this Kaweco Sport. This is another German brand. I found this one on YouTube. Accidentally, I just kind of found a video about someone talking about it. It was our good friend Bradley. I don't remember what his YouTube is. I think it's called Stuff and Things. He does pipe videos and fountain pen videos, and he just reads stuff sometimes. But I really like his YouTube channel. and I found a review of his for a pen like this. I really like this color. It's called Bordeaux, which is a dark red, and it's kind of like a wine color, and I like the gold accenting. It's not actually gold, it's like stainless steel covered in a gold-like thing. You have to buy this separately. This doesn't come with it. I bought this at a Kinokuniya in Dallas one time. And yeah, this is a very small pen. You know those like golfing pencils that are really small? It's about the same size. And kind of the point is that when you cap it, it becomes a full-size pen. This one I obviously use capped because otherwise it'd be too small. But it's a very nice ergonomic pen that you can take with you anywhere and always have something to write with. A lot of people actually, what they do is instead of using the very small converters, what they do is they put an O-ring here, and then they put silicone grease on the threads, and then they fill this whole thing up, which is a very interesting way to carry a lot of ink. However, I think there is a certain element of danger to this, because if something happens to the plastic here, or for some reason it comes undone, you do end up with inky pockets, which is not a good idea. Now, the other one that I own that I really don't use much is this Yinghao. I don't actually remember what number it is, but this is a copy of the Lamy Safari. Here. I got this on eBay as well. It's not exactly the same. The size is different. They're slightly smaller. And the design of the clip is different. And the design of the nibs is different as well. Very similar, but it's not the same. This is a very straight nib. This is kind of flaring out like a traditional nib. And I bought this one because it has a 1.1 millimeter nib. So this is a very thick lined nib. It basically makes straight lines like this that are very thick. And then when you write sideways, it makes very thin lines. And the point is that as you're writing in cursive and kind of moving like this, the line weight, the thickness of your line changes as you write. But it's very difficult to do, and I don't actually write in cursive. I write in traditional script in all caps. It kind of looks like drafting script, but it's not drafting script. It's just whatever they taught us in school, but in all caps, because I don't like writing in lowercase letters. And yeah, then the next three pens I have are this other Yinghao. This is based on a old design. I can't remember what brand it is. I think it was Parker. And I don't use this one because the converter unit, or the feeding unit, isn't very good, and the ink tends to fall out a lot, and I ended up having pretty big problems with inky pants when I first bought this. However, I would use it more if I could buy some O-rings and then put some ink here, or put some grease here and fill the whole thing, and only use it at home or somewhere where I don't have to carry it with me. But I like the design of it. It looks nice. It's just, it didn't work well. Then I have another one of those Yinghao Lamy Safari clones, but this one's really crappily made. As you guys can see, the window here isn't cut properly. Oh, sorry. But I keep it around because I like the nib. Oh, I think this even has ink, so nice. I need to wash this. But I don't really like the way this works because it has problems with the way the ink is delivered as well, which is not great. Oh, there we go. I got some ink on it right there. And the last one I use is, or the last pen I own is this Cross. I can't remember what the brand name is, or the name of the model is. Well, I don't know what it is, but this is a Cross. I like the design, but this one I bought used, and there's like a problem with it inside that I don't really like. And the way it writes isn't very exciting, I guess, or it's not very nice. It doesn't feel very good when you're writing, and it's very like scratchy, like it feels like it wants to rip the paper. So I don't really like it, but I don't use it very often anyways. And I can't fill this one like I said I could with the other ones because this is a metal barrel, and so the water in the ink is going to mess it up. But yeah, that's my whole pen collection. I'll make another video for my ink collection, and that might be a little bit more interesting. Sorry I didn't do any writing demos. I just don't really have a good way to set it up where I can show you how it looks like when I write, because I don't have a stand or a way to put my phone over my hand. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you some knowledge. And most of the pens that I have are beginner pens. So if you're a beginner and have no clue what to do, you can get one of these very easily, no problem. None of them are very expensive. I think the most expensive one is the Lamy Safari at the $25 mark. But the Metropolitan is a very good one for around $15. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.